You are watching the Cleveland Browns Report by Chat Sports. Matthew Peterson here, recapping all the news and rumors after roster cutdown day. We've got a good look at the Browns practice squad. We got some injury updates, and we got some funny news because the Steelers, they got some bad news, which is great for everyone else. But let's check out the practice squad first. It starts off with a trio of wide receivers. Jaelon Darden, James Proche, and Michael Woods. Really happy to see Woods particularly return to the practice squad. Former 6th-round draft pick that missed all of 2023 due to a torn Achilles, but he's been working his way back. Veteran offensive tackle Germain Ifedi, expect him to get called up week 1 if Jack Conklin and or Jedrick Wills is not available. Defensive end Sam Kamara, Roy Mbaeteka, Lorenzo Carter, Jowon Briggs, linebacker Winston Reid, cornerback Tony Brown, and then veteran corner Justin Hardee, who's going to be really valuable on special teams. I think you can see him get elevated. Safety Christopher Edmonds, a long snapper Rex Sunahara, who has been filling in for Charlie Hewlett all preseason long. However, Charlie Hewlett appears to be healthy and will be a go for week 1 against the Cowboys, but a little bit of insurance policy, keeping a backup long snapper. And then tight end Cameron Latu, he comes over from the San Francisco 49ers. So some new faces, just I guess one new face really. If there are 4 players to highlight though, I would say Jaelon Darden, Germain Ifedi, Justin Hardee. I think Darden could get called up for special teams purposes early on in the season. They'll max out his 3 free call-ups. Same goes for Germain Ifedi. They could release him yesterday and not worry about him getting claimed off the waiver wire. So I'm sure there was a mutual understanding of, hey, we're going to release you today. We're going to put you on our practice squad. We're going to call you up our first 3 weeks of the season if needed. And then once we max out those 3 free call-ups, we'll make a decision at that point. And then the final guy, Justin Hardee, I think he's going to have a really good role on special teams for this team. So watch him to get called up a bunch early on as well. One name that was released yesterday that I expected to be back on the practice squad and could still be back on the practice squad, but not yet, running back D'Onta Foreman. So what's going on here? Like, is he injured and that's why the Browns are just moving on from him altogether? Do they reach a conclusion and decide, you know what, we want to go a different direction altogether? Is there some chess going on here? Is he listening to other teams? I mean, the Browns are not going into the season with Jerome Ford and Pierre Strong Jr. as their only 2 running backs. Chubb and Hines are out for the first 4 games of the season. So D'Onta Foreman, I thought, had a really good preseason week 2 after a scary injury at the Greenbrier Resort. So I'm a little surprised to see him not in the practice squad. It could be one of those slow-moving things, and he'll get there eventually. So not panicking right now, but I mean, reinforcements is 100% coming at the running back position. Like I said, there's just no way they go into week 1 with only 2 healthy running backs. There's going to be an addition made. I have no doubt about that. I believe that addition will be D'Onta Foreman, and maybe this is just taking a little bit longer because he's listening to other offers from other teams, or the Browns were prioritizing some other guys first. I'm not really sure, but I do know this much. There's just no way Ford and Strong will be the only 2 backs week 1 against the Cowboys. So without Nick Chubb for the first 4 games of the season, what is your confidence level in the Browns running back room and their ground game altogether? Scale for me 1 to 10. Last year without Nick Chubb, we saw how bad it could get on the ground. There were some bad stretches for the team with Kareem Hunt and Jerome Ford barely scraping together 3 yards a carry at times. So for me, without Nick Chubb, I'd say I'm at a solid 6.8. Like, I'm not going to even be funny about it and give it a 6.9. I think it's a legit concern without Nick Chubb. And they've got a good offensive line, so hopefully they can scheme some nice things together. But, yeah, I'm not going to put my head in the sand and pretend like, no Nick Chubb, no problem. No, he's very, very valuable and very important to the Browns' ground game. Some other news to get to here. We had some trade rumors break yesterday that have somewhat been rebuffed. So Jordan Schultz tweeted out today, the Browns never discussed trading or moving on from Jameis Winston. Cleveland is expected to make a quarterback move today, but it won't involve Winston. That was earlier this morning. Fast forward 6-7 hours. No move yet, but we still have some time left. But this all comes one day after a Mary Kay report, which stated the following. with Brown's second-year quarterback Dorian Thompson-Robinson being informed Tuesday morning that he's made the Browns' 53-man roster, a league source told Cleveland.com the Browns will field calls for Jameis Winston and Tyler Huntley and could trade one of them. Now, I don't want to say Mary Kay walked that back, but she did add more onto that later on and on YouTube, and somewhat downplay the Jameis Winston part of that story as more of a, hey, they're going to pick up the phone, but they're not initiating anything. I don't think the Browns ever had any interest in trading Jameis Winston. I'll also add this right now. I don't believe or subscribe to the idea that they are trying to move on from Jameis because Deshaun Watson is uncomfortable having a backup quarterback who's more popular than him, similar to Joe Flacco. If that was a genuine fear or concern, why would you ever sign Jameis to begin with? He's the most popular quarterback in the National Football League, like pound for pound when it comes to actual production level and popularity. Everyone loves Jameis. So that idea or theory made zero sense to me right from the jump, because there's no sense in signing someone who is already an extremely popular person in the league just to move on from them because Watson's uncomfortable having a popular backup. Then you probably should have gone out and signed like Case Keenum or someone boring like that. Sorry, Case. But the idea of the Browns trading a quarterback absolutely has some merit to it. I don't think the Browns are going to go into week one with 4 quarterbacks on their 53-man roster. I think Tyler Huntley is the obvious man out here, but I will say the Browns have been pumping out a ton of hype and smoke around Dorian Thompson-Robinson. I wonder if they have been trying to create this allure or this idea that they love Dorian Thompson-Robinson and DTR is incredible and could even dethrone Jameis as the backup just to drive up his value a little bit. And maybe the whole time that's been their trade candidate from the start. So a couple smoke screens going on here potentially. It's similar to the NFL draft, but something to monitor for sure. We've got more news to get to in just a second, but I wanted to update everyone on our sub battle with the Cowboys channel we have here at Chat Sports for week one. They pretty much kicked our ass yesterday, 47-15. The good news is we've got time until week one. So if you want to take down the Cowboys week one, it starts within the walls of Chat Sports. That's what every single NFL coach preaches before they take the field. So help us defeat Tom Downey and the Cowboys Report and subscribers and join the Best Free Browns YouTube channel today. Some injury news to get to now. Denzel Ward returned to practice today. However, he is not cleared concussion protocol. This is just one of the steps in the stages for eventually clearing concussion protocol, returning to practice, and then clearing comes after that. But definitely a good step in the right direction for getting the Warden back on the field, especially with CeeDee Lamb signing that 4-year extension. He'll be ready to roll week one. So all hands on deck in the secondary for stopping 88, which means getting Denzel back on the field. Some other injury news here to get to. David Bell, Jed Wills, Jack Conklin, and Mo Hurst all did not practice in the open part of the open practice to the media on, what is today, Wednesday? So, I mean, I'm not too concerned about Conklin not practicing. He practiced yesterday. I'm sure there's some sort of procedure in place of 1 day on, 1 day off. Every day that Jed Wills does not practice, I get a little bit more and more worried. However, if Conklin's back, move him to left tackle. You put DeJuan Jones at right tackle, and you might have your best 2 tackles on the team on the field at the same time. So that would probably not be the worst thing in the world. Now, as for some funny Steelers news here, it's expected, but Jay Glazer, the first one to report that the Steelers have made their decision and Russell Wilson will be the starter for week one. I don't think Russell Wilson will start more than 12 games for the Pittsburgh Steelers this year. I think that Steelers fans are so excited about Russell Wilson, partially because for what they are paying him. And I think they forgot the expression, you get what you pay for. If you want to pay a quarterback the bare minimum $1.5 million, you should have some level of expectation of getting $1.5 million in value out of him. So I look forward to the Steelers being an absolute disaster this year. I know their defense has carried them very far the last couple of years, but At some point, asking your defense year after year after year to bail you out is going to catch up to you, which is why I'm only slightly concerned about the Browns this year. Like, they can't lean on the defense every single year with Jim Schwartz in charge, so the offense has to pull their weight as well. Otherwise, they could kind of fall trapped to what the Pittsburgh Steelers have been doing the last few seasons, which is barely getting by. But yeah, Russell Wilson starting, that's good news for the Browns, bad news for the Steelers. Some other potential bad news for the Steelers, just to tie more updates on Pittsburgh into this show. Their starting guard, Isaac Sumalu, left practice today with an apparent pec injury. So the Browns don't play the Steelers for a long time. Nothing to be, reading too closely right now, but just something to monitor moving forward. Okay, before we let you guys get on out of here, one quick housekeeping note. There are some really cool hoodies, 25% off at chatsports.com/CLE hoodie. So if you want to get some more Browns fall and winter gear into your closet, get it right now. I know it's August, but believe me, these 25% off hoodie sales are going to go away real soon when the leaves start to fall, and you'll love having a Browns hoodie and an extra 25% of cash in your pocket. Also, got to show some love to the Brown and Orange Club. Tim Green, Mike Dibble, Jeremy Stallman, Slow But Sure, David Botner, Jared Brandt, James Harper, Papa T, Joseph Deporte, Mike. Big shout out to you guys for supporting the channel. If you want to get some shout outs during the season, hang out with us during our watch parties, $100 super chat, and we'll add you to the club. All right, let's pick a card to let you all get on with the rest of your day. Reed, which card do you want to go with?
Let's go 5 of diamonds.
I'm going to go with the 8 of hearts. Someone commented in the last video, like, I got to learn how to shuffle better. I'm not trying to go work in Vegas. Like, I'm very content with my style of shuffling, which is just a notch above Michael Scott shuffling.
You just got to do the quick one and then just pick it.
I think this might have been yesterday's card. 4 of clubs. 4 of clubs. All right, that will do it for us on today's episode. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Enjoy the rest of your day, and if we get more news, we'll be sure to share it with you.